Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be reviewing the Tamagotchi Pix and the Tamagotchi On. So, lots of people are confused on which one is better or which one they should get, and in my opinion, I think it really depends on what you're looking for in a Tamagotchi. So, I'm just going to be reviewing that today and letting you know my personal opinion on which one you should get. So, just to start things off, this all depends on what kind of Tamagotchi owner you are. For me, I like to have all of my Tamas running all of the time. It does get a bit tedious to have to be taking care of them constantly, but I find it really fun to be constantly taking care of these little guys, and they're really cute, and I just really like taking care of all my Tamas at the same time. But a lot of Tamagotchi owners prefer to collect their Tamas instead of actually having them on all the time. So someone might collect a Tamagotchi from 1999, and instead of turning it on or just to see if it works, they'll just have it in their collection. So if you are like me and you're one of those people that doesn't collect Tamas more, just like kind of has them and plays with them, so this is probably the video for you. So which one should you get, the Tamagotchi On or the Tamagotchi Pix? So in my opinion, one of my favorite features about the Tamagotchi Pix is the camera function and these buttons right here. So if you notice, these buttons are actually flat, unlike the On, in which the buttons go up a little bit. That's with most Tamagotchis. Like most of them have these buttons that pop up a little bit, and then they click when you press them down. But with the Tamagotchi Pix, right here, these buttons are flat. So you just have to lightly tap it. It's like a touch sensor, and you can also slide with this, which is a feature that I really like. And there's also this other really big selling point, which is the camera at the back of it. So no other Tama that I know of has a camera on it, and you can choose photos. So right now I'll just take a picture of this Tamagotchi, and you can take a picture and then you can look back on it later. So that's one of my favorite features about the Tamagotchi Pix. In my opinion, both of them are really cool, and if you're like still unsure after this video about which one you think you should get, then I'm suggesting just getting both if it's within your price range, or if not, keep watching. So, in my personal opinion, if you want a more hands-on experience with your Tama, the Tamagotchi On is better, because there's more options with the Tamagotchi On. There's just a lot more things to do when you first get it. Like with the Tamagotchi Pix, there's like not that many things you can do. Like, it's pretty minimalistic. But with the Tamagotchi On, you can unlock all these towns that you can go to. You can visit each one. You get to build up relationships with other Tama characters. So it gives you more of a hands-on experience. However, if you're looking not to be taking care of a Tamagotchi 24/7, like all around the clock, just like taking care of it and taking care of its needs, and because it does get tedious to marry off your Tamagotchis, because you will need to marry the On and the mates off when they're adults. So you'll need to marry them off, and then you can build up relationships with the other Tama characters in the different places. So it tells you on the bottom where you can meet them. So this one you can meet at the gym. You can also meet this one at the gym, and this one you can meet at Food Town. So it just tells you where you can meet all the different Tama characters. But I can see how it might become tedious to build up relationships with your Tamas in order to get them married, especially if you have more than one On or meets unit. With the Tamagotchi Pix, however, it's relatively easy to use. There's not too many things you need to do for it. Rarely ever needs something, in my opinion. It's a lot more easy to take care of. So if you just want like a cute little Tama pet you look at like once in a while, just take care of it. You don't need to do that many things for it. The Pix might be a better option for you. However, the Pix, in my opinion, is a little bit basic, and it doesn't have as many functions as the On. So if you're more of an excited like Tama collector like me, and you want to have a more fun experience with your Tama, you want more of like a feeling of friendship with your Tama, or like you just want to have more fun with it, go places with it, or if you have another On or meets unit, connect it, then the On might be better for you. However, another really good feature that I like about the Pix is that you don't need to have another Pix unit to be able to connect it. Because of the camera function right here on the back, if you want to connect the Meets unit, then all you have to do is you just have to go to connection, and then using the camera on the back, it scans a QR code on another Meets unit, and then it puts that Tama in your Tama. So that's a feature that I really like because lots of people can't afford to have two Pix units. I am fortunate enough to have a Meets, an On, and a Pix. So if you don't, so it's not in your price range to get two of this, which for most people it isn't, and I can't even get another one of these. They're pretty expensive. Then you might want the Pix if you don't want to have to buy two. Because if you want to connect the On to another On or Meets unit, then you will need to physically have it with you. But for the Pix, you don't need to have it physically with you. You can just go on Google and then search up Tamagotchi Pix QR codes, and then a lot of QR codes are going to show up, and then all you have to do is just scan that on your phone, just put the Tama in front of it, and then it will scan it and it will put the Tama in your Tama, and then your Tama will be friends with another person's Tamagotchi. So that's a feature that I'm really liking on the Tamagotchi Pix because you don't need to buy two of them. Because I really wanted to connect my On to another unit, so I have this Sweets Meets right here, and I like to connect them a lot. It's really fun, and if you get the opposite gender on both, then you can eventually marry them, and marrying these two is a lot easier than just like building up relationships with different Tama characters in the different locations that the On and the Meets feature. So, for example, right now I can't marry them because they're both females, but in my last generation, I did marry them both right here, and then it was a lot easier to marry these two than to just keep connecting them over and over. But like I mentioned before, not everyone can afford to get two Tamas, and that is why I recommend the Pix to anyone who's looking for more of a minimalistic Tamagotchi experience. So you don't have to do that much with it. You just have to occasionally like play with it or do what it wants, or you can just feed it or anything. And it's also just a lot easier to take care of. I find that my On and my Meets are beeping a lot more than my Pix. My Pix barely ever needs anything. And when it does need something, that's when it's in the baby stage, which is the first stage of the Tamagotchi. In pretty much every Tamagotchi, the baby stage, that's when it needs the most. So it will need help every like 1 to 5 minutes. So I find that the Tamagotchi Pix is a lot easier to take care of. Doesn't really need that much. However, it does leave me feeling a little bit bored. But for some people might like that better because they don't have all the time in the world to be taking care of their Tamagotchi. Like, for example, they have to go to school or work, or they have other important things that they need to be doing rather than just taking care of their Tamagotchi. And again, if you would like a more hands-on experience with your Tamagotchi, like the On, it provides more of an exciting aspect to it, like you're waiting to unlock things. And it's just really fun to find out the different locations. When I first got this one, which was my first Tamagotchi On/Meets, this one I was so excited because I just found out about all these locations. I was super excited. And also, if you're pretty confused on what location or what unlocks what, so like if you eat this, is it going to unlock this? Or if you're pretty confused about that, I recommend visiting the Tamagotchi Wikipedia page. Or if this gets probably like maybe 10 views or something, maybe I'll make a video on that. But yeah, so in summary, the Tamagotchi Pix provides more of a minimalistic experience. So it's pretty easy to take care of, doesn't really need that much. It's also, I really like the basic shell design. It's really cute. However, it is a bit bulky in size comparison to the On. When I first got my On, I was really surprised that it wasn't as bulky as the Pix, considering that the Pix does have a camera on the back of it. So I was pretty surprised in the size comparison. The Pix, you can't really carry it everywhere with you. It's pretty big, it's pretty heavy. The On, however, is a lot more light, pretty easy to carry everywhere with you if you just like want to fit it in a jean pocket or whatever. Also, the Pix back, in my opinion, is a lot harder to take off than the On/Meets back. So I'm having trouble with this constantly, and I'll constantly like be pulling it and it won't come out, and then it'll just like fly off. So, yeah, that's basically the whole video on this. So it really depends what kind of person you are, but in my personal opinion, I recommend the on, in my opinion. So you might think differently, but I find that I like the on slightly better than the Pix. I really, really, really love all Tamas. They're all great. But I just find that the on provides more of a fun experience. You get to unlock more things. It just like leaves you anticipating, like, oh, am I gonna unlock this, or like, can I be able to do this later? But the Pix, there's not much that you can do. So you take care of your Tama, you can buy rooms and everything, but there's like nothing to look forward to. There's like no fun events that could possibly happen in the future. This does occur with the on/meets once you have unlocked everything like I have. It gets a little bit tiring, but it's still a fun experience to travel to different places, meet other Tamas, and you can converse with them too. But for the ending on both of them, so for the on, you must marry your Tama. I've never not married my Tama on my on, so I don't know what happens if you don't do that. But a feature that I really, really like on the Pix is that you don't have to marry your Tamagotchi. So at the end of the Pix life cycle, it will be thinking about Tama Planet, which is where the egg came from if you watch the opening scene. And then it will be thinking about Tama Planet, and then your Tama will say, why not make an album? So it will then prompt you to click the middle button to continue, and then you'll need to color an album and then select photos that you've taken of your Tama, and then it will put it in those albums, and then your Tama will not get married, or it might. It'll just go back to where it came from, which is Tama Planet. So it will get into a spaceship, it will travel with all its bags, it will go back to Tama Planet. Then when it goes to Tama Planet, then it will open the album and it will be sad because it's thinking of you. And then it will eventually just go on to pursue the job that it had taken if you had used the training rooms. If you had not used the training rooms, it will just be in its normal attire and it will go back to Tama Planet. And then it will choose another egg for you, and then the cycle starts up again. I really like this because it implies that you don't have to get married to be able to finish off your Tama life cycle. You can just let your Tama go back to wherever it came from, and it doesn't need to get married. So that's basically my review of the Tamagotchi On versus the Tamagotchi Pix. I know this probably wasn't that helpful to a lot of Tama users, and I'm sorry for that. I just don't really know what else to say, because in my personal opinion, I like the On better, but it really depends what you like. And if you're still confused, you can consider visiting the Tamagotchi Wikipedia page, which I'll link down in the description of this video. It's really helpful. You can search up anything about any Tamagotchi. It really helped me in my beginner Tamagotchi days. So yeah, that's basically all for today. Thank you guys for watching, and bye!